look at you and I just think you are such a little worm. I can see you right now, probably.
Absolutely baseless trash.
Because what you really believe in is Baal Berith. That's what your people believe in. You believe.
Did she just mention Baal? Baal Berith, or Baal Berith, Lord of the Covenant, was a Canaanite deity worshipped in Shechem. This is what I like what Candace said right here. She actually mentioned the deep, dark stuff that they actually believe. The Talmud. Baba Nasia 1146, the blank are human beings. Only them, people like Ben Shapiro, are human beings. But the nations of the world are not. They are but beasts.
What is in that Talmud that you know what Ben thinks of you? Because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals.
Watch Ben Shapiro shake like a little baby.
Why, therefore, did you call irrelevant the Israeli attack in 1967 on the USS Liberty?
Watch how his face changes really quick. It's like a demonic reaction, like little snake in him slithering. Watch
the
it.
Israeli attack in 1967
Okay.
on the USS Liberty, which left dozens of American servicemen.
He's about to get the NPC demonic response to this question, which nobody, no Zionist can answer this.
Dead and hundreds wounded.
So what I actually said is that if we're looking at modern Israeli-American relations, looking at an attack that happened mistakenly by multiple Navy reports, multiple Israeli reports.
If the truth
His hands, yo, look at this. Boy, nervous.
matters, then the Israeli government must be held accountable for that attack. The American flag was flying on that ship. You do not mistake an American ship for a foreign one. When
Who's the speaker? He sounds like a young and upcoming Charlie Kirk type individual. Who's the speaker of this?
our flag is flying.
So,
So.
and we can spend the rest of the time talking about the specifics of the U.S. Liberty attack, or
Nobody's liking Ben Shapiro anymore. Candace Owens just went nuclear on that man in her last podcast. So we're going to look at the comments on this because it's always fun to see what people are saying. Ben Shapiro has been canceled, right? Deport Ben Shapiro. Yeah, I mean, we should. Oh, I said this before, but I gotta be careful what I say because YouTube will flag it as hate speech and antiseptic stuff. This nation thinks it can continue to deceive the world. Oh my goodness, Ben's gestures prove that everything he said was a lie. The American flag was flying on that ship. Ben, gulp, gulp. I'm gonna sound like Goofy there. This country is not our friend. Yep, I love this kid. I've seen him challenge several politicians and he never backs down. Yeah, why is Ben smiling? He thinks it's funny. Well, because, I mean, he probably has a demon. I really don't doubt it. Ben is like, how dare you attack my country? So I think this is the same guy, Nicky Rudd. I think this is the actual speaker. I think this is him. The Israeli government just shot down this ship. And it was just an accident, y'all. We just killed Americans. It was just an accident. We couldn't tell. What? It was just an accident. I mean, the flag was visible. It was a sunny day. So we're going to hear what Nicky Rudd says right here.
He said that the USS Liberty incident was an accident. Israel accidentally bombed the USS
It was an accident.
Liberty. Let's talk about it. The American flag was flying on that ship. When it got shot down the first time, they replaced it, signifying we are Americans, signaling the Israelis to stop their attack. They continued it anyways. On top of that, on the side of the ship, the name USS Liberty and the hull number were clearly delineated. There was no mistaking that that was an American ship. There was, oh, we got stuff going on. There was it was a very clear day. There was perfect weather. You could tell from miles and miles away, it was an American ship. American flag, USS Liberty name, hull number on the side. They knew what it was. And they continued the barrage. The attack lasted for over 90 minutes. Over 90 minutes, they continued to shoot. American soldiers trying to survive the slaughter lowered down lifeboats into the water. What did the Israelis do? They shot them down. You know what that is called? A war crime. Seems like a common theme for the Israeli military nowadays. Kind of like this vibe we're walking through all these people. Yeah, it seems like they do that, whether it's the USS Liberty, whether it's innocent Palestinian women and children in Gaza.
So whatever response Ben Shapiro gave, he's trying to debunk this whole, quote, conspiracy theory. I believe this actually happened. And I believe it was not a mistake. I believe it was literally on purpose. Why? Because we cannot put it past this wicked country, which I don't want to combine the context of the actual name of the country and saying it's wicked, because everything's antiseptic. It's invading the literal AI algorithms. Trump just hired somebody from that specific nation to literally update algorithms on social media and sites like YouTube to flag antiseptic content. Anything that they deem is antiseptic. And so increasingly, I got to be more careful how I speak on here if I ever want my videos to actually get reach and get views. This is 2025, folks. 2026, this is the new world we're in. The new world, ORDER. This is what they're implementing. I think 2030 is going to be a big year for that. Lots of things are going to change by 2030, and it's already changing now quickly. So now we're going to watch our girl Candace Owens go scorched earth on Ben Shapiro.
Do an advertising spend. Here's $1 million. I'm sorry, you're dead. The entire world knows that you are an imposter. I mean, you're so much of a fraud that essentially what you do is you have people send around clips to grown men to cheer you on, to pretend like the audiences love you. You staff audiences with people that work for YAF who are told to explode into cheers when you hit the stage because you don't have the confidence anymore to go out into the world because you know people see you for what you are. And so exactly what he did yesterday. We can now listen to what this imposter said as he hit the stage. Charlie Kirk's organization, the one that he built for debate, if you have a disagreement, and he instructs people here in this speech to go after me and Tucker Carlson, right? That's what he's going to do. He wants us deplatformed. So he's going to attack me, he's going to attack Tucker Carlson, and he's going to attack Megyn Kelly because she's at the beginning of what these people have put me and Tucker and Charlie Kirk through.
And I did catch the conference late, yo. I didn't even know when it was happening. I caught it after the fact, after it aired on YouTube. And I was very surprised that both Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro were speaking at the same conference. Very surprised.
Take a listen to a portion of what Ben had to say.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at tpusa and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating every...
His voice is annoying. Baseless trash.
Absolutely baseless trash. One from French intelligence to Mossad to members of tpusa in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name. So no, Tucker Carlson, it is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of tpusa.
Look at this man. How can anybody take this man seriously, yo? What? I want to zoom in. I got that big old... I got to figure out the name of that hat. I got to figure it out. So I literally typed in Google, if you can see, what is the little hat that Jews wear? The little hat is called a kippah. Hebrew or yarmulke, let's just say kippah, a brimless skull cap worn by Jewish men. So I think Ben Shapiro has the biggest version of this hat, because it seems somebody said it was really funny. His hat's growing every week or something like that. He's growing the hat he puts on. So you got the small black hat. I got that hat, crochet. I think he's got this hat. And this is me right here. Actually, I do have a hat on, but it's not that hat. It's called a Lumpy hat. This is Lumpy, the mascot I have. The puppet that you saw me talk with a little bit earlier. Merch link is in the description. All right, so back to business.
Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. When Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded. And we are all more retarded for having heard it.
Well, Ben, when it comes to you and having worked with you, I just know the tactics that you use to feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular. So, yeah, I don't have to say we don't know no when it comes to you. You are such a joke of a little man. Your jealousy.
Yo, whatever you think about this whole drama, you can't say it's not entertaining. It is very entertaining to watch, honestly. It's very entertaining. And Lumpy's just waiting here. And honestly, Ben Shapiro is one of the funnest people to mock. Ben Shapiro is one of the funnest people to mock. So I kind of hope he stays a little bit relevant so we can continue to mock him. So Lumpy can continue. I'm Ben Shapiro and I lie about the USS Liberty.
Against Tucker, your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating the markets. You know those kids booed you on that stage. The amount of messages I got from Turning Point USA people saying, what is happening? Why is he on this stage? Standing against everything that Charlie believed in. That's what you're doing. You're standing against everything that Charlie believed in because you weren't his friend. He didn't like you for that very reason. I look at you and I just think you are such a little worm. I can see you right now, probably.
This is hilarious.
You are such a little worm. I can see you right now. What can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Berith. That's what your people believe in. You believe.
Did she just mention Baal from the Bible? Hold up.
That you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years.
Wait, Baal, what did she say? Baal Berith? Because I know what Baal is, but is that the last name? See, this is what I like when Candace does stuff like this, going max on these people who have a literal antichrist belief system. Baal Berith, or Baal Berith, Lord of the Covenant, was a Canaanite deity worshipped in Shechem. Noted in the book of Judges as a god the Israelites turned to after Gideon, symbolizing a branch of their covenant with Yahweh. Later, Christian demonology demonized Baal Berith as a fallen angel and high-ranking demon, often depicted as the secretary of hell. So, I mean, Candace is 100% correct right there, y'all. This is what the rabbinic Jews worship. Baal, Satan. They worship Satan. Just to put it bluntly, they worship Satan. And I don't know if this part's going to be flagged. If it is, so what? No monetization on this video if it gets flagged. But I got to state that fact. They worship Satan. And if YouTube flags this, then they're not fact-checking correctly because this is literally what the Bible says. Many of the Israelites stopped worshiping the God of the Bible, Yahweh. They stopped worshiping him and started worshiping false gods. One of them is which? Baal Berith, or Baal. So this is factually relevant. YouTube algorithm, if you're hearing this, is factual. It's biblical. Most of the Israelites started worshiping Satan because they were just, oh, you took me away from Egypt where we're getting fed nice food, and you took us out in a desert to die, and we're starving and thirsty, and we're just going to stop having faith and worship other gods, create a golden calf and all that. Literally the story of the Bible. In Numbers, if you read the book of Numbers in the Old Testament. And this is what the modern day so-called Jews, essentially this is their same mindset. They hate the God of the Bible, Yahweh. They blame him for everything, and then they turn to other gods. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun. They hate Jesus Christ, and they had him killed. And yes, that is biblical, by the way. They had him killed. He laid down his life. Jesus Christ laid down his life. They couldn't kill him if Jesus Christ didn't allow it, but they still had him killed.
Fire someone and you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know that I'm done with it. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe
This is what I like what Candace said right here. She actually mentioned the deep, dark stuff that they actually believe. The Talmud. If you know what that says, y'all, I have some of the quotes of the Talmud, so we can go over them because Candace is not going to go into the actual quotes. But it's very dark and wicked stuff, and they actually believe this. People who truly follow Rabbinic Judaism, they have to follow this Talmud. They have to believe in it, and it teaches some damnable heresy.
Myself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us.
Yeah, it's literally in their book, y'all. Literally. Yeah, so this is from the Talmud, directly from the Talmud. They believe Jesus himself is punished with boiling excrement. And he's punished with this because apparently he mocked the words of the sages and was sentenced to the boiling excrement, and he sinned. This is what they literally believe about Jesus Christ. This is the Talmud. They believe an adult man who engages in blank with a blank girl less than blank years old, or a blank boy less than blank years old, who engaged in blank with an adult woman, or a woman who had her blank ruptured by wood. Look, I don't want to read all this, but it's there if you want to pause it and check it out. It's very disgusting. This is literally in the book, which this is what Ben Shapiro is. Directly in the Talmud, and Ben Shapiro is a Talmudic Jew. It says in the Talmud Kedushin 4:11, blank, delete the best of the Gentiles. Smash the head of the best of the snakes. Again, another one with the whole disgusting acts right there. Candace was also speaking about this right here. It literally says in their book, it is permitted for a person to depart from the truth. This is what justifies them lying, because it's permitted in their belief system, in their book. Sanhedrin 59a, deleting goyim, which is anybody who's not what they consider a Jew, is like killing a wild animal. Even the best of the Gentiles should be deleted. Well, maybe that might have been Charlie Kirk. That might have been maybe Sanhedrin 59a, a Gentile who they call Goy, who pries, which I'm doing right now, which Candace is doing, into the law of the Talmud, is guilty of deletion. So I literally think people like me and Candace Owens, anybody who actually looks into what they believe, is guilty of dying or should die. Blank with a blank girl is permitted. Here we go. Baba Nasia 1146. The blank are human beings. Only them, people like Ben Shapiro, are human beings. But the nations of the world are not. They are but beasts. This is what Candace was talking about earlier. It's what they literally believe. And so why do you think they want to destroy America? Why do you think they want to take control of America and really any nation? And why do you think they were kicked out of over 100 nations? Because they literally believe everybody who is not them is like an animal. And what does that mean? And the Bible teaches that we have dominion over the animals. And so that being so, we have control over the animals. We look at ourselves as superior than animals. And so if we want to move into an area where there's trees and where squirrels reside, just for an example, we're not going to really think about the squirrels. We're just going to cut down the trees and the squirrels are going to have to find a new home. Like, we have dominion and authority over the animals. It doesn't mean we have the right to just cause needless suffering to animals. That's completely wrong, and I condemn that. But it's just the outlook that they have makes them justify what they're doing to the world, and especially America. They want to control us because they literally believe they are higher beings than anybody who is not them. And this is how you get the insanity. How Ben Shapiro comes to the level of narcissism and insanity that he's in. And Candace Owens is calling it out, and I'm glad she is. So we'll end that there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. May the Lord keep you, may he bless you, may he shine his face upon you always and give you peace. The true Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Believe in him and you shall be saved. Amen.